Today's video is going to be about short riders and some techniques and tricks I learned to, you know, make things easier. So first of all, when I went to the dealership, I sat down on the street glide and then I sat down on the road glide. So the first thing that I noticed was when I sat down on the road glide, it was hard to see in front of me, you know. And when I was sitting on the street glide, it was easier to see in front of me because of the fairing being so close. And a lot of people may be like, well, that might not be a big deal, but it is for me because I want to see obstacles that are in the road, like potholes, rocks, or anything like that, loose gravel from like cement trucks or anything like that. I need to be able to see obstacles. So for me, at least, it's very important for me to see over the fairing and basically see the front wheel or something very close to it. But they're all beautiful bikes. I love them all. So trick I want to give you guys, if you didn't know, for the shorter riders is the higher are the closer you are um, on the seat, the higher up you are on the seat, the more balance you have of the bike because you're centered over the engine more than sitting back in the seat where the weight is in front of you a little bit more. Another tip I have is to make sure that you do not park your bike on a slope because people with taller legs, people with longer legs will be able to just push the bike back. But if you have shorter legs, you would kind of want the gravity to help you push the bike back. Another thing is when it comes to coming to the stoplights and stop signs, and if you could, instead of just getting to the light and then slowing down, if you could kind of like pace yourself, keep the bike at a pace where you could kind of like time the light. You won't have to really ever, worry about putting your feet down unless you're stopping or things like that. Now, when I first started riding, well, I grew up riding dirt bikes, mopeds, and all that stuff. And my first, I had like 250s. I had a 500, but it was too big for me to too hard for me to kick over because the bike was bigger than me. So I got a Honda Shadow, and I want to say before you go out and get this $20,000 Harley, you should go get a Honda Shadow or a beginner bike just to get your technique down and learn on something that is less expensive. I know a lot of people go out and take their tests and they just go out and buy these beautiful giant bikes, but it takes time and it takes experience in most cases to and as a rider you never stop learning about things. So it's a learning process. It's just I mean, if you can afford to do that, do it. But in my case, I wanted to make that transition from a dirt bike to a motorcycle, and it is a very different transition because you have to watch out for other people. And when you're on a dirt bike, you can kind of just do your own thing and stuff like that. Another thing is the reason why I picked the street glide over a road glide is because I come from like a dirt bike background, and I'm used to the when I turn the handlebars, I'm used to everything turning like a dirt bike. A lot of people that come from sport bikes and like a lot of motorcycles that the fairing doesn't move, they like the road glide. And in my personal opinion, I believe that a road glide is a taller person's bike, but that's just my opinion. And it was kind of weird for me because you could tell that a road glide is just a road king with this giant fairing on it. It's a beautiful bike. It kind of seems like when you're turning, the bike's still going forward. So all right, that's just few little things I wanted to say. And that's it. All right.